Hello everyone, and this is Goth Tarot, part of TFT, Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee. But today, I am your host, Oberon, for Goth Tarot. It's my weekly exploration into shadow side issues, and I also offer some shadow work from the Earth and Bone Oracle set, an affirmation and some thoughts to consider. The reading is primarily based around the Santa Muerte Tarot, and there's the Earth and Bone Oracle set too, where I construct two triangles, uh, ascending and descending, and use the points of those triangles to reference our reading. So I am going to start off with the Santa Muerte Tarot. And I have pre-shuffled the cards, so I just give them a little bit more of a shuffle. And the first triangle, the ascending triangle, is entirely drawn from the cards from the Santa Muerte and addressed the first three significant points. And that first point is the dark design, the focus for this week, the focus for the environment at that time. So the dark design is the Two of Wands. The focus for this time will be trying to move our plans forward, especially because we feel there's been a sense of accomplishment, that things are moving in the right direction and we can expand now. This card could be talking about expansion. It could also mean that our sense of authority or over certain things, like maybe our job or what we're responsible, has also expanded, or that we can otherwise be able to capitalize on any other plans that we're thinking of at the moment. Okay, so the next card then is the dark drama, and the dark drama is the outside influences, the things people say that may be able to influence us, or that somehow, we feel impartial to or partial to. And it's the Hermit reversed. I think people, it's like last week, are trying to draw us back into their circuit. Maybe people are trying to move us from some of our positions. Sometimes people don't understand, certain philosophies, and so they try to mitigate that by maybe influencing you to consider their point of view or to move towards their side of things. So this could be some sense of that the drama is the outside forces trying to make you more worldly, make you less spiritual perhaps, or trying to cause you to change what you may define as really important to you. So then the final part of the triangle is the dark destiny, and that's the way things move forward most likely. That suggests a very likely scenario. Of course, it's tarot, so we don't necessarily, it's going to absolutely happen. It's the reversed Nine of Pentacles. And this is talking, once again, about our comfort levels and saying that maybe, of course, we will consider moving more away from our more insular sense of zone of comfort. Maybe we are going to maybe take our show on the road, maybe get back to artful, crafty, or other projects we've been involved in that maybe for a long time we've just kind of, neglected in a way. So that's very interesting. It reminds me a little bit of last week, not entirely. Okay, so then for the next triangle, we start off with, all right, so now we are going to move on to the next triangle point, creating the other triangle. And this point is point 4, and it represents the dark shadows, the kind of things that are haunting us. I'm using the Goth Tarot for that. And we don't necessarily mean this to actually mean apparitions or hauntings that may be scaring you or preventing you from doing things, but the idea of something that lingers and causes you to pause and maybe not be able to move beyond this point, something haunting you, as they say, a thought or an impression that kind of paralyzes you from movement or suggests that you want to, retreat in some ways. So I'm using the Goth Tarot to get to that point. What are the dark shadows? What is haunting you? It's the Ace of Pentacles. Maybe what haunts you is that you can't see yourself beginning something new that would help you out financially or help you out materially. So you're afraid to start a new job or afraid to start situations that maybe could help you materially. I'll put that there. Let's put it there. It's almost a paralyzing fear, perhaps. So I'm sorry to say this, but I'm thinking that what haunts you is you can't seem to capitalize on something to get you going financially, to begin a new grasp on a material, sense of your life. And so this could be about advancing in jobs, getting jobs. This could also be about situations where maybe you have an expectation of receiving money or resources, but you fear it's not going to happen. So if there was maybe the likelihood of an inheritance or some disbursement of cash towards you, you fear that. You fear maybe starting a project that you feel could help you with financial gain, your own business, that kind of thing. So it could be things like that, of course. But now we're going to move to the next point, and that point addresses what the dark truth is, the reality that maybe you can't really escape or that you have to accept somehow as being legitimate and maybe having a significant impact on your life. Now, it's not necessarily, the third card, the dark destiny, the way things might move forward. And it's not necessarily what's around you right now, the Two of Wands, the idea about taking your show on the road, preparing to capitalize on things. It is a reality. It could be a bad one or a good one. The point is that it is something that you can't seem to necessarily change very easily. Once again, I refer to the idea that this is tarot, and it is but a snapshot in time to some degree, and there are ways we can avoid certain things. All right, so how interesting. We have pulled the reversed Hierophant, and I'll add them over there. The reversed Hierophant, the dark truth, a reality you must accept. And I sort of see it in connection with what you fear, but the reality you may have to accept is that you're never going to be able to feel conventional enough to fit in. And of course, as a goth, you might say, why would I want to? But it may hinder some aspects of your life. It may hinder the financial projects you want to do, or the artistic projects even you want to do. The dark destiny still indicated that maybe you might be forced to make compromises with this, with what your dark reality is. So it's kind of interesting. It looks like you are most likely in some sort of dialogue with people in situations about what you should do or what they think you should do to embetter your life. Well, phooey on that noise, to some degree. But now, of course, with all that being said here, maybe what we're looking for is the dark twist, point 6. The point of the dark twist is that there could be something unexpected, a sense of a destiny that no one really saw coming, something that pulls the rug out, something that is a game changer, that flips the script, as we like to say. So for this, I use the Black Tarot. It's a very black tarot, and it's self-published. I don't have that information offhand. I've mentioned it before, though. What is the dark twist? What thing could actually change the picture a little bit in unexpected ways? It's the sun reversed. The sun reversed. It's kind of like a big wow for me, because the sun reversed suggests to me that whatever twist happens, it kind of dispels the notion that, you have to answer. Like, I'm thinking this is really like about the thing that's game changing, is that maybe sort of is empowering to goth or dark minded or pagan minded people, or people who are goddess worshippers, or people who are unconventional, like the real truth, the dark truth, the reality you have to accept. That maybe, something happens that is such a dark twist that we have to accept the people who do not necessarily walk under the sun. Whoa. So now I want to end with, of course, what is the dark gift? What is the thing that is a special insight or property or essence we have, a skill or ability, an intuition, some dark gift that can actually be that power for us in all of this? One way or the other, no matter how we might feel things validate us or pick us up, we still need the dark gift. And that comes from the Crow's Magic Tarot, an old card set in tool of mine for some years. The dark gift is strength, endurance, and fortitude. And although that talks to the idea of physical fortitude, strength, most readers It is card 11, so that flips the script a little bit too, because in some tarots it's card 8. But I think this is really talking about bringing a sense of compassion as your main idea of strength, what it is you use to prove your points, to hold your points, to illuminate to others what your points are, is all of that strength and endurance that really comes from the strength and compassion of your heart. All right. It's time for shadow work. So I'm using the Earth and Bone Oracle set for the shadow work. It's by Syrian Shadow. It's independently published. And I've been using it here for a while now since I started doing this Mystic 7 kind of spread that I do. So here goes. We're going to give them a good old shuffle and see what the Earth and Bone Oracle has for us. And that card is number 1, Shelter. Shelter, spiritual growth, revival, accountability, healing. It takes time and work to heal, and it isn't always a one-time fix. You may need to return to the shadow and difficult memories again until your mind stops repeating the negative and instead transforms it into an opportunity for growth or learning. After you've let go of all the things that are holding you down, you can move forward. It's important to let go of any feelings of shame or guilt. Forgive the person who went through that. That person is no longer you. From there, envision what you would do differently, but be careful not to envision what you would not want to repeat. You are no longer that person. From there, think about what you do differently, but avoid thinking about what you wouldn't want to do again. Replace that memory with a new one. Picture yourself in that situation and consider what you would have done differently to avoid causing yourself unwanted experiences. Accept that you are a human being, assume accountability, and forgive yourself. Make the conscious decision to learn from your mistakes and accept that you have evolved and are no longer the same person. Allow yourself to let go of these emotions, since they belong in the past, and you are now living in the present. Those emotions are not indicative of who you are. You may feel compelled to slow down and spend time in nature, meditate, or engage in a healthy activity that allows you to enjoy yourself. Affirmation. I am whole and do not need to chase anything in order to be complete. I'm aligned with what I've learned and how I have grown. I am better, wiser, and stronger because of my experiences and lessons. I like that. It resonates strongly, especially with the several cards there. The Strength card at the end, the Dark Gift, and of course the Anti-Sun over there in the Dark Twist, kind of validating maybe what we feel over there in the Dark Truth, the real reality of how unconventional we are and how we can't really change. So take heart, forgive yourself. You're not the person you were before. You have nothing to prove to anyone else. And that's my Goth Tarot for this week. So take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.